new. So then we'll go ahead and jump into the convention report. Chuck asked me to show you all this. This is the Civic Award that was presented to our assembly. I guess this is only one out of two that we do here in Idaho, according to what his report says. We have achieved 100% of our recruitment goal for this year, which is great, and hopefully we can continue that next year. We were recognized for exemplification in October by the district master. Chuck wanted me to, excuse me, our faithful navigator wanted me to give his thanks. Looks like the resolution for Baldrick wording was done and will be sent to Supreme. It looks like there were 3 color options that will be sent along as well. We do need, looks like a exemplification team that is fluent in Spanish, so we can do that moving forward. Let's see, it looks like only delegates can vote for any 4th degree member that can attend. Okay, so one of this in here says, a Sir Knight reprimanded us for not standing, showing proper respect for district master and others. We must stand unless not able. And then each assembly is going to be asked to hold an exemplification each year. I think we've been doing ours every 2 years here. So that should be moving forward as well. Process for electing district master. 3 names must be submitted to Supreme and they will review and decide for district master. I don't know if that's something that's done by the assembly or if that's something that's done through our faithful navigator. So then let's go ahead.
With the district master, that all happens at Supreme with the Supreme master. So it's our duty at the provincial meeting to supply 3 names. So the current seated district master is running again, that's Dave Ellingson. And then 2 other gentlemen up there put their names in and they have to submit like a little bio, and then all that goes up to Supreme. And they decide who the next district master is for this jurisdiction.
That's it. Thank you, Brother. Okay, so I will do the elections last for new business. So our faithful navigator wanted me to extend along that Mike Shaw has been chosen out of the year for 2022 for his many years in service in both council and the assembly. Although he has moved to Cottonwood, he maintains the position of Idaho Veterans Administration Volunteer Service Chairman. He will on occasion come down to help with VA bingo. This award will be presented to Mike during the picnic that will be scheduled at a later date. And I believe he already gave that to him since the picnic was postponed. I'm sure several of you saw already, we had 2 fellow knights that passed away over the weekend. It looks like brothers Dan Solikar and Bud Davis. So let's keep them in our prayers, please. So we've got all of that. So let's go ahead and jump into elections. I would like to invite our
we're the faithful navigator. Do you have Bud, the date of Bud's passing?
I didn't. Chuck just sent me over the email that said that both of them had passed over the weekend. I believe it was Saturday.
Chuck, if you could hear me, could you send me the date of Bud's passing so that I can update his information in member management? Thank you. Yeah.
He had it listed as new business. I don't know if is there a particular order these things are supposed to go in.
Treasury report? So is it the treasurer report that goes now?
It's in the book. The order of business.
Oh, he just speaking in his binder, so I didn't know if he had the same.
Report of the faithful friar, reading of the minutes of the previous meeting. Could we do that? Okay. Get them approved.
Does anybody have any objections to the minutes that were written and published and sent via email? Brother Jerry?
I gave a report on the chalice and it didn't make the minutes on that we approved it in June and.
We approved it in June and not taking action on what was approved in June. And that didn't appear in the minutes.
Outstanding. I'll take a look into that and get that fixed, Brother Jerry. Thank you. Okay, so then we, some treasury report. Okay.
Bills and communications.
There you are. So I think that's after the bills and communications. Okay. Do we have any bills and communications for this meeting? Then we'll do the report of the faithful purser.
Faithful navigator. There was only 2 checks. They cleared the bank. There was no deposits this month for a total of $6,583.05 in the bank.
Outstanding. And then we'll do the report of the committees. Mike isn't here, so we won't do BA, and I wasn't given anything to pass along. Color Corp, would you like to do a report?
This Saturday, we'll be having color court training. There will be flag protocol. First part will be folding of the flag. And so I'll have several flags so that we all can do it at the same time. And then the next portion will be then changing of colors. And our flag needs to be changed because it's torn. And so I will need permission to buy a new flag. And at that time, we'll actually do the changing of the colors with taking down the damaged flag and putting up a brand new one. And that costs us usually somewhere around $45, $50, if I recall correctly. The training this Saturday will be at 9 o'clock. Should last about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we'll be out by the flagpole, the church here. And then on 21 May, we will support the pro-life outdoor mass for Stanton. And for Color Corps, the show will be 9 o'clock, and the mass will start at 10 o'clock. And I'm sure my brother Joe here will talk about getting the field prepped for the outdoor mass in the band. So other than that, there's nothing else to report.
Hey, Bill. What if one of these funerals is Saturday?
Without doubt,
Yeah.
funerals always the top
Yeah.
priority. No, that's a good point.
Faithful Comptroller, do we have any applications for?
The faithful navigator, based on information that just been given about 2 brothers that have passed, we have 121 members, 4 of whom are unpaid. We do have a transfer that has been approved by council. Benjamin Pelka. Benjamin is here. No. So we'll get that sent off to Spring. Yeah. That's all I have.
Thank you. We'll move to unfinished business. Brother Jerry, since that you have a report for new savings accounts.
I brought this up at the last meeting, and again, Chuck asked me to readdress this issue, which was when in June we approved the meal appreciation program. And part of that was to put some chalices in the inventory. I believe we purchased 10 additional chalices, so the inventory is ample, although it can obviously go at any time. The second thing was that we were moving $3,000 to a savings account. And the third thing was after we had brought the savings down, that we were looking at additional charitable donations for this year, which I don't believe was addressed. So those were the two components of the three that were approved last June that are still on the table.
So as far as that goes, as I'm only the stand-in navigator for tonight, I don't know if it'd be appropriate for me to actually go through those. I think that's something that Brother Chuck should probably preside over. But we will get that addressed. Looks like our new fourth degree medals came in, and Brother Chuck asked me to pass those along, and along with the 20 chalices that are going to be placed in the next closet. He also wanted me to extend his gratitude for those who volunteered to help for the April picnic, even though it was postponed. Obviously, our navigator came down with COVID, and I just saw him this morning. It looks like he's doing well, so just continue to keep him in your prayers also. Report of the trustees.
Board navigator, no report at this time, but our audit will be due in June. It's it's due by August 1st. So, but at any time after June 30th, we can do the audit and send it in. We do ours for the fourth degree annually. The council does it biannually.
Right, so then we move on to new business. We already did the thank you from Mike Shaw, so we'll move into the elections. So there's a couple of positions that we're going to do an actual paper ballot for. And it sounds to me like the Sentinels already have that set up. Is that one?
I've got the ballots
You
here.
got ballots, okay. And I was asked that for the ones that there's more than one candidate, the candidates be given a couple of minutes each to kind of give a synopsis of what they're looking to do at that position. So I would like to invite Brother Joe Cardona to speak for, let's do 3 minutes. Would that be enough, Joe? Do you need one?
That was the 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
You're going up to the podium, sorry.
Oh, I came up to the podium. All right. So forgive me to keep the time constraint. I have to read this, otherwise I'll drift. There's three Cardonisms. The first one is that our primary duty is to serve others. And that's what God put us on earth for. And if we don't serve others, then we serve no real purpose. Second Cardonism is that despite your perceived station in life, if you can do the job, you do the job. I like washing dishes, so that's no big deal to me. But it's seeing a job that needs to be done and not being of a nature that, oh, that's beneath me. So that's one of mine. If I'm willing to do it, then I expect everybody else to do it. I just want you to know what you're getting. And this, and giving to others until it hurts, and then you give some more. And so whether that's, time, talent, or treasure, you give what you can, and then you give some more, because that's what Christ did. He gave more. The fourth degree today functions like a committee under the council with a single focus and autonomy. So the old days, if you look at the late 1800s, early 1900s, the assemblies advised and guided other councils. That has changed, and I would argue that's where the district deputy comes in to help provide that leadership and guidance so that the councils that they're assigned go on to be successful. We, the fourth degree, must be organized, trained, and execute prudently, evaluate our performances, our impact, and then re-engage in meeting our ongoing patriotic mission, which is to protect and serve our parish and our local community. Under the Knights of Columbus umbrella, we, in order to be a fourth degree and to be a fourth degree in good standing, we need to support the council because we're part of the council first. We remain dedicated to the council's third degrees as fourth degree, and that's charity, unity, and fraternity. But our main focus is patriotism. God and country, along with religious freedom, protecting that, and the right to worship God as Roman Catholics. And if you read the papers, that should be no surprise. I believe that I have the breadth and depth of experience, along with an established history of being qualified for the position. There's no task that I've ever been given that I haven't done, that I haven't excelled at. So, with that, thank you.
I appreciate Brother Joe's timeliness, so I will do the same. Most of you know me. I will go ahead and address the elephant in the room right here off the bat. I am a very young man, and I am missing a lot of the experience that Brother Joe has. He is very qualified for the position. And that being said, there are some places where I feel like I can also bring some things to the table since I am a younger person. It doesn't have to be the gap that it is in a lot of other places. One of the places that I think we could be doing better is recruiting. I've already spoken with our worthy Grand Knight and Deputy Grand Knight about some recruiting initiatives, particularly aimed at younger men between the ages of 18 and 35. It's going to be a social media initiative that I would like to pilot myself so that I can show the results of before anybody else has to get involved. It's something that I think we can do really well here, given the age demographics that we have here at Holy Apostles. I have spoken to a lot of younger men, and unfortunately the travesty here at Holy Apostles is that there's a lot of young men that don't even know what the Knights of Columbus is. I have talked to several younger men where they've said, oh, those are the guys with funny hats, and then they do the pancake breakfast. And that's something that, I hate to hear, because obviously the Knights of Columbus is so much more than that. At least it is to me, and I know it is to most of you. The Knights of Columbus, while being a charitable organization, is also kind of a battle standard, if you will, for the Catholic Church. I mean, we've been described as the strong right arm of the church by His Holy Father numerous times. With that being said, I think it's important that we start reaching out to these younger men so that we can benefit from the experience of the older generation. One of the things that I also hate saying is that there's a lot of gentlemen in here that are advancing in age, and it has been a place where younger men, we're not going to have the ability to benefit from your experience unless we start getting younger men involved. And since you all do have so much experience, I want to be able to create a bridge that as of right now doesn't exist as much. I believe the Knights of Columbus is more than what they say about just the pancake breakfast and everything else. I believe that every man in here believes that the Knights of Columbus is supposed to be that beacon of light in a world that is so intent on destroying itself. And I see this from my generation particularly, which is why I would like to start going after these younger men so that we can kind of get them back into the canon of the church. And you are starting to see a little bit of a resurgence in terms of younger men coming back to more Orthodox Catholicism. So as far as that goes, you guys know what I'm about. I've talked to most of you, and I pray that you guys have the wisdom to vote who you believe is best. Brother Joe and I both bring a lot to the table, and I believe either way, the assembly is going to benefit. So thank you very much. So faithful comptroller, you're our admiral and I'm captain. So are you the next in line to do the balloting?
Report of the third degree. Well, we're going through a vote right now, so he has to hand off the gavel to, do you know what officer he has to hand off the gavel to so we could call the vote?
Whoever's captain.
I'm captain, so I know
Well,
we're
I
supposed to.
Whoever acting captain.
Oh, who's the acting captain?
At this point, both of you need to leave the room, and then because some of the members will be voting online.
Okay.
And then when we finish the vote, tallying vote, you can come back, and then you can take the chair again.
The nominating committee submits Sir Knight, Joe Cardona for faithful position. Did you want to say that three times? No, you say that once, and then you say Corbin once, and then you say, are there any other nominations from the floor? Nominating committee submits Sir Knight, Corbin Carlson for faithful position, for faithful navigator. Are there any further nominations for navigator? Are there any further nominations for navigator? Are there any further nominations for navigator? All in favor of electing Corbin Carlson or Joe Cardona as navigator? Okay, hold on. Oh, we're handing out. We're gonna do a ballot vote, and then they'll be handed to the inner and outer sentinels, where they'll be counted and then presented to you.
Yeah.
Sir. Okay, so you guys are collecting in just a minute.
Somebody have a hat or a box.
Yeah, is there a box or something?
There's a hat.
That'll work. Not mine. Probably have to do that. Yeah. Go around and do it. There you go. Oh, yeah. Make sure that everybody hands in a ballot. Next in line, buddy. It looks smart. Yeah. It's gonna be grand night after you, Steve. I think so. The way it sounds.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah. Yeah. Right, you got it.
so they need to be counted to determine who does that.
Just for the.
Yeah, only judge. I could elect anybody as judge. What I would do is get this paper, do it, is what I did at the convention, I write both pages down there to the slash after each vote. And then whoever has the most votes. Yeah, two of you do it, so yeah. Do the tabulating those, just look over your camera.
I have to ask Daryl. Yeah. How do we vote online?
And that's chat feature.
I can ask them to,
Yeah,
Chat.
we can ask them
Oh, yeah, they do it on
what their
chat.
votes are, yeah. For everybody that's online. So it's just Ron and Chuck, right?
Right.
Yes, their votes can count, so, we need to ask them how they're voting. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine, the candidates are, that's why we asked the candidates to be in the room, so they wouldn't hear. The only way to do it, I don't know how, there's only one of them.
On Zoom, they can text Dave.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that would be, yeah. do that.
yeah, you guys are on Zoom, Ron and Chuck, if you could chat, go to the chat and name your vote, and then we'll pick it up from the chat. You have to type it in,
Just to Dave here, Rebecca.
just to Dave in the back or through the chat on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, that's a better way. to do it.
should I write it down on the paper?
Get it? Yeah. Let's see if I can find a piece of paper. I'm gonna need those batteries somewhere. I gotta go find.
We got a couple more of those, two more slides.
Strips. Just strips of paper, and he's gonna write down their votes.
15, two more.
We'll bring it back up. Oh, it's right here. Do I need to tell him again, or?
Yeah, I got one from Chuck. I didn't get Ron yet.
Ron, are you, oh, this is dead.
Hmm.
Hey, Ron, can you hear me? Okay, if you could go down to the chat.
I just sent it.
Oh, he just sent it. He said he just sent it.
Batteries are in here, Dave.
Oh.
For a shot.
You don't see it? You got him, Dave?
No, I don't have one from Ron yet. I'm on the chat. I'm not sure how to send it. I got one.
John.
Hmm.
John Walton.
This one.
Yeah, I know. He wasn't on a second ago.
Okay, did we get their votes? We got one. See if you can't chat. Chat.
He's not- I'm not sure where he sent it to.
Did not come up on the chat. Okay, hey, Ron, it did not come up on the chat, so I don't know where you typed it in. If you go to the bottom and you click on the chat where there's a little red number right next to it, click on that and it'll pull up a side, kind of where there's some writing on the side.
My name is not going to be there.
Yeah, Dave Innebeckler's name is not going to be there.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Got it. Well, I got it from Chuck.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Chuck.
We got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Oops. Yeah, don't put it back. Nope, don't put it in there. We need to keep the ballot somehow. Here, let's just put it in here. Answer the question. Who wants to go? What have to do with the captain? You,
I mean, bring them in.
What's that?
Yes,
Yes,
they can come back in. They're supposed to be destroyed.
Really? Suppose there's a contested event. Well, we come back and we revote it.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow night.
That's the voting.
I don't know. I didn't look. Donald Trump's not here.
Oh.
Yeah, what's Wade's part now? What does Wade say?
Oh,
Should-
at this
should I name
point,
up-
he just announced who's the winner, and then we can. And then they'll be elected as they.
So we've got, should I name off the number of votes?
No.
Just-
Okay,
okay.
just who the winner.
The winner of this election is Brother Joe Cardona. All in favor of electing Joe Cardona as faithful navigator?
We already did.
No,
We
we
done.
don't have. That's only. Okay, I'm just reading what's in there. Yeah. All right, hand the gavel back. One time I tried to follow the directions and it still didn't work. Going too far.
Would have done the same thing.
Okay.
All right, now I'm trying to punch this up. So now we have the election for captain. And it would appear that I'm a candidate for this as well, so I'm gonna hand the gavel off again. That's what's listed here. Myself, Brother Dick Jacobson, and Brother Steve Gaston. I don't know how that works, but
Steve Gaston, is he present?
No.
So
That's okay.
that's okay.
Yeah. So now we do the same thing, only we just choose one of the names. And the ballots go back around again.
Okay, does he have to hand the gavel over and then stand out of the room or?
Since he's not going for, no, I think he could stay there technically because it's not for the office of faithful navigator. I think technically he could stay in.
Okay.
Even though he's one of the, well, yeah, no, I guess it would be better to have Wade go back and then have.
Yeah.
Because there's, otherwise, yeah, because we have to online voting.
All right, so announce the three candidates and then 3 times for the nominations from the floor. Okay. The nominating committee submits Sir Corbin Carlson for the position of faithful captain. The nominating committee submits Sir Knight Dick Jacobson for faithful captain. The nominating committee submits Sir Knight. Not Steve Gaston, is that correct? Yeah, no, you announce it. Steve Gaston as faithful captain. And then are there 3 times, are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations for captain? Are there any further nominations for captain? Are there any further nominations for captain? Okay, now ask him to leave the room.
Yeah,
Oh, and throw the dick too.
sorry, it's like that.
Thank you, sir. Sir Dave.
know, but I wanted to.
Sorry.
If you want to probably. Check.
Oh, okay. All right.
From the third grade.
Worse I have.
Lost that. Oh, no, that.
All right, after the meeting, I'll send it back. I'll mention it, and I'll send it back. You guys want the hat? Just still got both. What's that? Yeah, I got it. They're working on it. Oh, they don't. I'm kind of surprised. How many more votes are there? Ten? Oh, okay.
Well, we're gonna do the two line.
Oh, yeah. Did they chat in theirs yet? Okay, Ron and Chuck, if you could chat in your votes again.
Yeah, Chuck did already.
Okay, so the three were Corbin Carlson for captain, Brother Dick Jacobson for captain, and Steve Gaston. Those are the three running for faithful captain. Two more pieces of paper, please. Waiting for Ron. Okay, we're waiting for Ron still on the chat. Maybe you can help out a little bit.
I sent it to the host.
Send it to the host. Maybe it's on the other computer,
Maybe that's my problem.
or it's on the one in the room. I bet. Yeah, I think the main computer.
I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Okay, we got it. Thank you, Brother Ron.
Yeah, I think you know my husband's too.
Okay, sorry about that, Ron.
Yeah, he owes him the victory too, so he owes his 30 as well. I'll get it to you, transfer it out. He's gathered his, there was some, it took less than one.
All right. We have nominated Corbin Carlson, Brother Corbin Carlson, for the faithful captain position. I take that couple.
Yeah, please.
All right, the nominating committee submits Sir Knight Robert Nee for faithful comptroller. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
We're the faithful navigator. I make a motion that we cease nominations for the office of faithful comptroller and elect Robert Nee by unanimous acclamation.
Second.
All in favor of electing Sir Knight Robert Nee as faithful comptroller, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. The nominating committee submits Sir Knight Paul Edwards for the faithful purser. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
For the faithful navigator, I stand make motion. Well, I'm not going to stand up. It's too hard. I make a motion that we elect Paul Edwards as intersectional.
No.
Oh, it's purser. I'm sorry, as purser by unanimous acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. The nominating committee submits Sir Knight Chuck Boisvert for faithful admiral. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
Worthy faithful navigator, I make a motion that we cease nominations for the position of worthy admiral and elect Chuck Boisvert by unanimous acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. The nominating committee submits Sir Knight Keith Klein for faithful pilot. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
Worthy faithful navigator, I make a motion that we cease nominations for the office of faithful pilot and that we elect Keith Klein. Keith Klein by unanimous acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. The nominating committee submits Sir Knight Joe Wax for faithful scribe. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
Worthy faithful navigator, I make a motion that we cease nominations for the office of faithful scribe and elect Joe Wax by unanimous acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries. The nominating committee submits Sir Knight James Pavlik for outside sentinel. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
For the Bethel Navigator, I make a motion that we cease nominations for the position of outside sentinel and elect James Pavlik by unanimous acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And then we do not currently have a nomination for inside sentinel. So I'll ask at this time, is there anybody interested in that position?
I could. I could. That's for someone else.
I think you were the only one. We appreciate that. So then the nominating committee submits Sir Knight Mel Phelps for inside sentinel. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
For the Bethel Navigator, I make a motion that we cease nominations for the position of inside sentinel and elect Mel Phillips by unanimous acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, the nominating committee submits Sir Knight Wade Carlson for first year trustee. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
For the Bethel Navigator, I'd like to cease nominations for the position of trustee and elect Wade Carlson by unanimous acclamation.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. The nominating committee submits Sir Knight Tom Coops for second year trustee. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
For the Bethel Navigator, I make a motion that we cease nominations for the position of second trustee and elect Tom Coops by unanimous acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. The nominating committee submits Sir Knight John Howe for third year trustee. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
For the Bethel Navigator, I make a motion to cease nominations for office of third trustee and elect John Howe by unanimous acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, so with elections wrapped up, then I'd like to go ahead and give a round of applause to everybody who was elected this season. Outstanding. And with that being done, I would like to call on Brother Bud to give a report on Sherry Kusick.
This was the wrap up of our support activities in terms of helping Sherry and in helping Sherry get back on her feet after the death of her husband. And the process took a little bit of time, but unbelievable spark of enthusiasm on her part, grabbing a hold of the situation and driving it to an unbelievably successful situation where she has a job, her son has a job, they are remaining in the apartment that they were staying, and it's just amazing. So I'm still in contact with her, and for sure she told her to call. 2 cars have been reconned and are up and running satisfactorily. A little bit cleaner than they were, and a little bit more reliable than they were, because she drives over to Utah periodically. So she's smiling from ear to ear, really, considering the situation. And she's in so many different ways indebted to all of us as partners helping her get back up on her feet. So I'd like to submit the wrap-up expenses far under my first estimate. They came in at 400 and oh, here it is. Sorry. Most people make mistakes, but it's 400 and I have it. Oh, I'm sorry. Here it is. $439.58. And let me tell you, the first assessment was many times that. So I submit that for approval to be reimbursed for that.
Believe that'll go to the purser, correct?
Go to the comptroller.
Somebody opposed to,
Thank you, Navigator. I stand so moved that the motion to reimburse for the expenses.
All right, there's a motion on the floor and a second to reimburse the expenses for Sherry Cusack.
yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries.
Thank you so much.
So with all that concluded, report of the third degree.
Right here.
For the day, we have a report of the third.
Sorry about that. Daydreaming. Hopefully we'll have a presentation from Supreme Knight Patrick Kelly. We are having some audio difficulties again with our speaker, but we'll see. That's kind of the main thing. A few other things coming up. We got Saturday, May 20th, I believe, is the pro-life mass. 21st. Sorry. We'll be talking about that. That's it. Thank you.
Word of the night, before you give up the microphone, and it's important to everybody in this room, is the third degree's contribution to the fourth degree will be $1,149 this year. So I worked out all the fundraising and figured out the 10%, and that's what I'll be giving warrant voucher to Bruce for to fourth degree.
All right, good of the order.
Thank you, Navigator. I stand to give a report under the good of the order, two things that aren't necessarily assembly related, but are appropriate for the good of the order within our jurisdiction or within our district. The first one is kind of from a patriotic standpoint. One of the members of my council, his name is Tim O'Neill, has put together a docket of all the candidates that are running for the election coming up, the primary election. And on Friday, May 6th at 7 p.m. at the Meridian Library, he is inviting all the knights from the area councils and assemblies to attend. It's a very good opportunity for to exercise a principle of patriotism. And for districts 20, 21, and 22, there's going to be 10 candidates that'll be attending at the Meridian Library, May 6th, Friday at 7 p.m. So if anybody is interested in a Q&A or has any questions for those candidates, he's not saying who you should vote for. This will help your conscience when you need, if you wish to ask them any questions. So that's the first announcement that I wanted to make to this assembly, Faithful Navigator. The second announcement I want to make is within the district, Nampa Council 2014 English Council is hosting a Veterans Charity Golf Tournament. And it's going to be Saturday, May 14th at Red Hawk Golf Course in Nampa. And their proceeds are going to be benefiting a Veterans Memorial that they're putting up on the property there at St. Paul's Catholic Church in Nampa. And the cost is $100 per person. And there's all that registration includes your green fees, the tournament, $100,000 shootout, that sort of thing. So I have some flyers here in the back of the room. Roland has some flyers as well. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But this is a real worthy cause for them to make a difference with the veterans in their community in Nampa. And they're kind of going way out on a limb with their golf tournament. So I would appreciate any members of this assembly that would like to, golf and participate in the tournament. I think it'd be a worthy effort. So thank you for the time, Faith Navigator.
I have a couple of things as well. Without getting into the details, if you would all just continue to keep my wife and I in your prayers. A little bit of a downturn there, but I know through God all things are possible. Second thing is a two-parter. I'm supposed to be going to France to Lourdes next Tuesday with the Knights of Columbus for the International Military Pilgrimage. The prayers that I would ask for is first and foremost, we're having some issues with my passport. So hopefully we can get that sorted out. And then the second set of prayers that I would ask for is for all the attendees. The last that I heard, there's going to be veterans from 54 different countries that are going to be in attendance there. And obviously this show of unity is very much needed in our world today with everything going on. So I would ask that you keep all those pilgrims in your prayers.
For the family and repose of the soul of the two brothers we just lost this week. I spoke with Brother Ron Kotko a few days ago, and he's had a number of different things, most of which are plateaued, but in a scan that they ran for, I believe it was some intestinal problems, because we know earlier he lost quite a bit of his intestine because of a clot during the heart operation. So while they were trying to monitor that, they discovered a plaque built up in his aorta, which is restricting the blood flow. And, we don't know whether he's going to get any help locally or he's going to have to go back to Salt Lake. Please keep him in your prayers.
All right, Sir Knights, is there any further business to come before this assembly? If there be none, we shall proceed to the close of the meeting. Faithful pilot, what are the emblems of this degree?
The flag, the sword, and the cross.
Yes, Sir Knights, these glorious symbols typify patriotism, liberty, and faith, the heaven-sent attributes of our Christian citizenship. Faithful pilot, what say you for the flag?
The flag of our country, we love it and shall ever defend it.
Faithful Admiral, what say you for the sword?
Let us keep it bright for liberty's sake.
Faithful Captain, what say you for the cross?
This is the cross of Christ, the exponent of Christian ideals, the conqueror of death, the giver of life. Supreme reverence for the sacred symbol will crown our country queen in the sisterhood of nations. It is the bulwark of the national honor, the inspiration of patriotism, the guardian of personal worth, for it was crimson with the blood of self-sacrifice.
Sir Knights, undying allegiance to the cross of Christ and to Christ's vicar upon earth. Please stand or kneel. In the Father, Son. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at our hour of death. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Mary, Queen of the Knights, pray for us. Blessed Michael J. McGivney, pray for us. I now declare this assembly duly closed until our next appointed meeting, which I believe is June 6th.